Welcome to our Influencer series. Today we have Amanda Todd with us. She's going to talk about her excellence in not only real estate, but how she kind of performs her magic. She lives in Sacramento, California, mother of 3, single mom, which we'll talk about a little bit. Also, I guess now that you don't do everything, but a triathlete, which is insane. And she is a real estate top performer, right? So I guess, as I like to get started, what attracted you to real estate?
Well, one of the biggest things for me is that being with my kids is so important. And I love the flexibility that you can have in real estate. As we all know, it can be extremely time consuming. But one thing that was really important to me was to be able to pick my kids up from school every single day and to be able to be home with them, even if it meant that I was still juggling phone calls, texts, and emails. For the most part, I was still there, making dinner, doing homework, things like that. So that's why real estate was really attractive to me, is because I could dictate my own schedule.
So one of the things I think most people want to know, and I'm really curious, is, so you're a triathlete, right?
Uh-huh.
So what is a typical day look like for a single mom of 3, badass real estate agent, triathlete? What does a day or a week look like for you?
Well, so for me, I get up between 4:30 and 5:30 every single morning, because that's my chance for my time, that I can really recharge myself, really focus on what my goals are to accomplish that day. And that's when I get my workout in. So depending on what my workout is, I get up, crazy early and do, often a long workout. I'll be out there in the dark riding my bike or running, and it's insane. But again, it's just that whole mindset that if you want to accomplish something unique, you have to be willing to do what other people are not willing to do. And people all the time tell me, oh, I could never get up that early. And I'm like, I'm a night owl. And so, yeah, it's hard. It's super hard. I sleep with my phone in the other room, so that I have to get up to turn my alarm off and remind myself why I'm up that early, and then just keep going. So I get up between 4:30 and 5:30. I do my workout. I'm really big on Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. So I journal, I meditate, I do affirmations. Or I have a really specific order. So I get up and I do my journaling, which I write down 10 things I'm thankful for. And then I go into my workout, whatever my workout is. And so then I'm thinking about those things that I'm thankful for during my workout. And then I come back and I try doing my visualization and my affirmations and meditation right when I woke up, and I'd fall right back asleep. So I have to do that after my workout, after I'm woken up. But so then I really visualize, what do I want to accomplish that day? I visualize what I want my end goal in life to look like. I went to a seminar that talked about writing what your ideal outcome is. And so I think about that every day, like what my ideal outcome looks like. And that's what I focus on. That's what I visualize myself achieving, that ideal outcome. And so as I have that programmed into my mind so early in the day, as I'm going throughout my daily tasks, I stop and think, is this something that's going to contribute to me achieving my ideal outcome? And if it's not, then it's really easy to just redirect myself and get back to, really efficient activities and what will drive towards that. So anyway, I do my Miracle Morning routine. And then I get my kids get up, and I'm getting them ready for school, and I'm making lunches, and I make my lunch, and then we're all out the door together. By 7:50 to 7:55 every morning, I drop them off at school, and then I'm straight to my office. And then I work, 8 to 3 in my office, and I'm out the door at 3 o'clock to pick them up from school every day. And then come home and we do homework, and I set the expectation with my clients too, that basically from about 3 to 7, that's when I'm mom. I can respond to texts and emails, but I really try to not take phone calls during that time, because I really want to be engaged. And I also explain it to my clients that when I'm on during that workday, I'm on. I'm focused on being an agent. I'm focused on negotiating their deal or whatever it is, so that it allows me, when I'm mom, I can really be mom, and I'm not torn as much, feeling like, I'm not being there for my kids and that's nagging at me during the day. But then I know when I'm on during the day for my business, it's not nagging at me when I'm home with my kids as much, that like, I left this undone. So I just really like to be very focused and intentional, whatever space I'm at during the day.
How long have you had this routine?
About 2 years.
And has it been a slow build?
A slow build towards gaining the routine, or towards gaining the momentum?
Where you're at today, the reason why I ask, because when I hear it, right, and I imagine that everyone who's kind of watching will kind of go, that's a little daunting,
yeah,
right? Like, how do I just jump into this insane routine? So I'll give you an example. So for me, I'm up every day. I want to, very much like yourself, I want to get out ahead of the world, right? Mm-hmm. And it's crazy being in Las Vegas because I'm used to being up at 5.
Yeah.
So I was up at 4:30, which is actually like 6:30 home, and I can't remember the last time I slept that long.
Yeah.
But again, you're out in front of the day, and so was it just one thing that just kind of switched, or was it additive? How did you get here?
Yeah, so it honestly kind of became addictive in having that quiet time. You know, it's almost like a magic pill. Like come 7:45 is when my phone starts blowing up with texts and emails mm-hmm. and phone calls from clients. And so I realized, hey, when I'm up early, I get this really quiet time. It's before my kids get up. It's before, people are realistically expecting me to be responding about mm-hmm. a transaction or something. And so it really gets addictive. So I started getting up earlier and earlier and earlier, because that amount that you can accomplish in that peaceful, quiet time, there are very few things more fulfilling when you are walking into your office knowing you've already run, 7 or 8 miles, and your kids are at school with lunches made and things like that. Like, what a great way to start off your day on such a positive note that you've already accomplished so much. And as you go into the work day, you're just set up. So no, I didn't start off by, getting up at 4:30 in the morning. I mean, there's many days that I've had to restrain myself. So I'm like, ooh, I could set my alarm for 3:45. I'm like, no, that's probably not very healthy. But again, once you get into that routine. So I started out getting up at 6. My kids get up at 6:45, and then I moved it to, 5:30, and then just moved it earlier and earlier as I would program what my morning looked like. Then I just would make it fit better and better. And there's times I'm still tired, but then I remind myself, it feels so good to be walking into my office and already have been up for 5 hours.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it is.
Fun. Your productivity in the last 12 months, talk about you and your team. What have you guys, maybe your top 3 accomplishments, and you can, whatever numbers you want to throw out there is great too, but we know you've done some amazing things, so it's kind of the work that leads into the productivity. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting ride, to say the least. So I was an individual agent. So 1 year ago, I was an individual agent with 1 assistant. And I was, hustling, and I had great production. I decided, though, that I wanted something more, because I wanted to share what I've been able to do that has worked for me and really plug that into other people and empower other people to be able to replicate the same thing. I'm very much an abundance mindset type person, that there's never too little success, that there's always plenty of success to go around for everyone. So for me, sharing my secrets and my tips and tricks isn't going to take away from me. It's just going to add to the collaborative and abundant nature in life in general. And so I went from being a single agent to deciding I was going to build a team. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even recruit. I didn't do anything. There were just enough people that knew what I'd done and had seen me. I mean, I've only been in the industry now for 28 months now since I closed my first deals. And there were enough people that had seen basically my quick rise. I don't want to call it overnight success because I don't believe in something as an overnight success, but my quick rise going from being a stay-at-home mom mm-hmm. to getting into real estate. And so when I basically put the word out of I'm building a team and I want to coach and mentor some agents, I just started having people just come to me in droves. And so then I had to learn, and I made a lot of mistakes too in who I surrounded myself with. Because you have to be so careful, and I'm sure you've seen this as well. Everyone wants something from you, and that can be a good thing, but there are a lot of people out there with ulterior motives. And so in my production now, and what I've been able to mentor my team, I now have 13 agents that work with me. And I also have an administrative staff as well that manages our transactions, manages our marketing. And we are now the #1 team in our region for Keller Williams.
Amazing.
And it's really crazy. And I haven't seen the August numbers come out yet, but last I knew we were #2 year to date, and we were #1, for July. I believe we will be for August as well. But as of July, we were #2 year to date in closed sides in our region. And that was with me only starting my team about 5 months ago.
Fun, right?
Yeah, it is really fun. And again, for me, that's just kind of my mentality that success kind of becomes addictive.
Right.
But I have this huge plaque, huge sign in my office that says, no success can compensate for failure in the home. Mm-hmm. And so it's just that reminder to myself as I get kind of that, because I'm kind of a type A personality that keep going, that still my #1 focus is at home. That doesn't matter what success I have in the world, professionally, this visibility that I have, my #1 job is to be mom. And so it keeps you very grounding as well, to remind yourself that my kids, it doesn't make a difference to them if there's thousands of people who know my name. At the end of the day, I'm still at home helping them with math homework.
You're still mom.
And that's what matters.
It was interesting you brought up who you surround yourself with, right? I always go by the rule of 5. You are who the 5 closest people you hang around with.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting. I always talk about people with just, I guess, negative attitudes or people with positive attitudes, right? And I'm very much attracted to the ones with the positive attitude.
Yeah.
And I always tell people to kind of check your friends, check your situation, right? Are people bringing you up, or are people bringing you down? Are you bringing others up, right? And it's kind of sounds like that's kind of what you do.
Oh, absolutely. There's 2 things that I kind of use and encourage my team to keep themselves in check and aware of who they're surrounding themselves with is pay attention to who's not clapping when you win.
That's a really good point.
And I believe, and again, I'm not some feminist and gender, specific, but my team is all women. And I believe that women can have a propensity for drama and cattiness, and I just don't do that. I just won't tolerate that. And so for me, I am all about collaboration. I'm all about we build each other up. Like I said, we have that abundance mindset that we're excited for each other when, somebody gets a deal in contract or somebody gets a new client or, closes a really big deal that's been really tough. We're there building and pushing for each other. And I believe that women are the most powerful force, whether for the positive or the negative. So when you channel that positive force and you are just constantly encouraging that, positive energy, that's where just that with that collaboration, it's limitless what you can do.
Who, do you have any mentors?
Gosh, I have a lot, which is kind of funny. I would say most of my mentors are men. But what's interesting, and I have a really great coach, there are not a lot of female real estate agents that are the very, very, very top producers in the country. And my goal is to be the #1 agent in the country, and there's never been a female #1 agent.
Really? Why do you think that is?
I think, and again, this is really overgeneralizing, and I hope I don't make any women mad. I think that a lot of times women go into real estate as the nurturing side of it, because we know that it can be so rewarding emotionally. I mean, it's so rewarding to hand a new buyer keys to their dream home.
Right.
Not as many women approach it from a business standpoint. I would say men have a higher propensity for approaching real estate from more of a business standpoint, from more of a CEO standpoint. And so I think that that's probably why. And don't get me wrong, there are some women that are in, if you look at the Real Trends list, there are some women that are in there. But generally speaking, it's almost all men. And so I want to break that mold.
I believe you will. So what has been your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure, I would say, is, again, not being careful about who I've surrounded myself with. Not really digging deep on what someone's motives are for being near me or attached to me or attached to my business. Because especially as you get visibility, you will have more and more and more people that are coming to you with these fabulous opportunities.
Well, and I have to echo, it seems like every time I talk to you, you have another person that's, oh, what about this and what about that? And I think you're positioning yourself very smart to, weigh it out and take some time. So anyhow, keep going, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. But it is really interesting to see, if you really dig deep, what's in it for them? Mm-hmm. What are their motives? Why do they want to be attached to you or your business? And as I look at that more and more and more, because again, I'll be the first person to say, I don't have a business background. I came from being a stay-at-home mom of 9.5 years into real estate. And so I have failed forward in a lot of ways. I would say another thing that I am really dialing in and being very conscious of is my overhead. Because especially in real estate, it's so easy to spend to make more business. And your numbers can look great. I had $2 million in gross commission income this year. How much of that did you keep? If you spent $1.9 million to make $2 million, is it worth it? Is it worth that risk, that headache, is that worth it?
It's a crazy thing about margin that, running a business, it does change that a lot.
It does. And so I've learned the questions to ask people that I feel like start peeling back those layers.
All right, give me 2 questions.
I would say, one, what's in it for you? Mm-hmm. Because no one is going to come to you in a professional setting without there being something in it for them. Mm-hmm. They just aren't. And if someone says, oh, well, it's just this and this, then I say, well, that wouldn't work, professionally, or that wouldn't work from a business standpoint. So explain that to me further. Just really digging in and asking questions, asking, because I think it's so easy, again, as you start getting visibility and credibility, that so many people see you and want to be a part of that. And so, I don't know if you know who Michael Mayer is. He wrote 7L. He is an amazing man, and he actually came to me just because he said, hey, I want to hear your story. Like, I've heard bits and pieces. This sounds really unique, and I'm telling him about all these great opportunities that I have in speaking and things like that. And he gave me the best piece of advice, and I think about it every single day. He said, Amanda, that's super exciting, and it's great for ego that all these people want to talk to you and want you to speak. And he said, I want to tell you, if you have to ever choose between being rich or being famous, choose being rich every single day of the week. Because being famous does not always equate to dollar signs. And he said, you'll get famous from being rich. You'll get that credibility and that visibility from just keeping your head down and being focused on your production. And so I really took that to heart, and that's when I just put my head down and just focused. I stopped dating anyone altogether. I just really was focused on building my business and building my empire. And then now I see where we've gotten by me having just that super laser focus, and it's so worth it. So again, the questions. What's in it for them? What's expected of me? And I think a lot of people miss that, is that they'll agree to this great opportunity without really evaluating what the expectations are for them. Because I think that unmet expectations in any relationship, whether it's professional, personal, that is probably the biggest killer of a relationship. And so if everything is out there, kind of like almost writing your exit plan or your exit strategy as you go in, it just makes everything really clearly defined.
Last question. Tell me about this $1 million mom.
So I was given the nickname $1 Million Mom, and I thought at first, I'm like, oh, that's cute and catchy. And then I realized I can use that to help other people plug into what I've done, and they can replicate it. I mean, that's the biggest thing, that there is never too little success. There's enough success to go around for everyone. And so what I want to use the $1 Million Mom platform for is mentoring people and helping people see what I've done, how I've done it, and how they can replicate it and do the exact same thing. Because especially as moms, I feel like we can multitask really well. There's this extra pressure that we have in raising kids and wanting to be a person and have an identity as well. Mm-hmm. And so as we develop that identity, I feel like it makes us better people, better moms, because we're more full. And there's kind of the airplane syndrome that, it says, put your mask on first before you help other people. I think moms are the worst at doing that. So if I can teach moms, and I mean, it's not limited just to moms, but I feel like that's where my niche is since I am a mom. If I can teach moms to put their mask on first, how do they take care of themselves? How do they fill their cup first so they have some to fill other people's cups, especially their family? It's just going to contribute to the greater good overall. And I want to do that. I want to be able to give back because I feel like I have been really blessed with, again, I don't want to say overnight success, but fairly quick success that I want to help other people plug into that as well.
Use it for good.
Yeah, exactly. Teach them to build a legacy, and that's going to trickle down to their kids. And it's going to teach their kids a work ethic and just self-discipline. That example is the best teacher of that. So if I can teach moms to have that, then it'll trickle down to their kids, and their kids will learn that as well.
What is one solid good takeaway that anyone watching can take from you?
I would say be intentional in everything you do. I believe starting your morning off right and setting your intention for the day. What am I going to accomplish? And then asking yourself throughout the day, kind of keeping yourself in check. If you find yourself scrolling through Instagram or on Facebook, is this leading to my ideal outcome? Is this falling with the intent that I have for the day? A lot of people use social media for marketing. I use a lot of social media for marketing or for building a national network that can be a referral network or a recruiting network, things like that. So just ask yourself every single time you're doing something, is this leading to my intent for the day? Is this going to help me achieve my ideal outcome for the day, for the week, for the month, for my life in general? And if it's not, reprogram yourself and get back on track. It's never too late. To never feel like, oh, I spent 3 hours doing something I shouldn't have, my day is gone. No. Even if you spend 15 minutes every single day working towards that intention, it's that consistency of just moving in the right direction. So that's what I would say is just if there's one takeaway, just be super intentional about everything that you do during your day.
Love it. I want to thank you. Thanks for taking the time to meet with us.
Happy to.
Hopefully everyone got something from this because I know I did. So thank you, Amanda.
Thanks. And anybody's welcome to reach out to me anytime. I'm happy to help. My website is www.amandatoddgroup.com. My email address is amanda@amandatoddgroup.com.